Hello, my name is Jill Nitch, and this is my Module 15 case study, Truman Elementary School. What do I know? Truman Elementary School is the largest school in its district. Approximately 15% of the student population qualifies for free and reduced lunch, and 5% speak a language other than English. Students do worse on the standardized reading test than they do on the math. They're losing ground on their reading scores throughout the school, and they lose ground going from grade to grade. The reading curriculum needs to be addressed. They are currently using a basal reading program. There have been parental concerns over the use of this program, which prompted the principal and reading supervisor to go in and observe the program in the classroom. A few things they observed was that the instructional time when they were using the program was whole group, and usually started out with the teacher or some of the students reading a story and then the kids doing a workbook afterwards or work page afterwards. They are occasionally put into small groups, but when they are, they're instructed all the same. There isn't really differentiation among the different levels. There currently is a grant that's available to support the implementation of a research-based reading program. What I need to know in the basal reading program, are there set lessons to be taught, or is it up to the teacher to come up with those lessons? In this program, is there a reading skills test or a reading level test that the kids take? If there is, it needs to be followed, because it doesn't sound like, based off of my observations, that the kids are doing stuff on their level. When they do put kids in small groups or individualized, what's the process they go through to do that? What is done with the students who continually struggle? Have the teachers been trained on how to effectively use the reading program? Through this program, how are the students monitored? Do the students have common PLC time or plan time every once in a while to discuss the program? What's the problem? They currently do have a reading program, but it's not being used effectively. There is not a set schedule or a consistent schedule followed for using the program. Sometimes it's in the afternoon, sometimes it's in the morning. Like I talked about before, there's a lot of whole group instruction going on and not individualized or small group. And when there is small group work going on, it is not done at the student's level, and the instruction is all the same. There's no differentiation. And then bottom line is the students are not progressing in reading. Plan of action. I will first get the teachers together and show them the test scores, show them the progression that the students should be going through, and show them the current and real data. After that is done, we will dedicate some professional development to showing the teachers how to properly engage students, showing them how to use small groups effectively, tier time, MTSS, a lot of different things that can be done. There also needs to be time where we sit down and look at the standards covered in the basal reading program versus the standards that are tested in each grade. Because if the standards do not align, then maybe we need to be looking at a different program. I would also set up a site council and lay out the plan to improve the scores, and invite community members to come sit in on that site council so they can hear our plan. If, like I said before, if the standards are not aligned, we need to do some research and figure out a program that does align to the standards. Research needs to be done on those other programs to apply for the grant. The grant money could be used for a possible new program that could be implemented. And if the teachers feel strongly that this is a program they want to stick with, then they need to get me a detailed list of why they need to stick with the program, or after they've researched different programs, why this program would be better. They also need to come up with a list of strategies to help the students out. That hasn't been done in the past. So when students struggle, they really don't know what to do. And once we have a set plan in place, that will be communicated out to the parents and the stakeholders to let them know what we are doing to make sure that our students are successful. How is my resolution based on what is best for kids? Each year, the median percentile score of the students has gone down in reading. 3 years ago in grade 1, the median was 55%. By the time those students are in 4th grade, the median has gone down to 50%. And then the basal reading program is not effective and is not being implemented correctly. So that's why there needs to be a new program in place. And then most of the instructional time in the classroom is by whole class. It starts out with reading a story and then completing a worksheet after that. And there needs to be strategies that those kids can use when they are struggling reading. And those need to be gone over numerous times and also need to be used in all the classrooms. Debrief, what was I thinking? Is the data from the reading test not shared with the teachers? I would think if it was shared with the teachers would notice that something needs to be done. Some teachers might be afraid to change because that's the way things have always been done. So they want to keep doing it year after year. Have principals in the past noticed this trend and just not done anything about it? And it sounds like there could be a better program to fit the needs of the current population. I want to know if there has been any discussion about developing tier time, individualized groups, groups based off of ability, that sort of thing. I think the reading teachers need to talk to the math teachers and see what they are doing, what strategies they are using to prepare their kids. Math scores are not great, but they are not declining quite as much as the reading are. And then could there be collaborative groups that students are put into in the classroom? You have a group of 4 and you have a high student based off their test scores, a medium high, a medium low, and then a low student, and lots of different collaborative group work that they could be doing in those groups. Standard 8, there could be a community night implemented where parents come in and receive books that could be purchased if the grant was approved. The strategies we have gone over with the teachers could also be presented, put up in the classrooms. There could be copies of those handed out to the parents. We could also reach out as a school to the community and see if there's volunteers that would be available to come in and help with those individualized groups once we start them up. And then at parent-teacher conferences, reading scores need to be shared, and strategies or activities shared with parents on how they can be helping those students at home. I would invite the community in to be part of the smaller reading groups to help alleviate some of the concerns by the community. I would also show them how there are steps being made to do something other than large group reading, and then presenting data at site council meeting as to what the teachers are doing to improve the scores and reading comprehension of the students. How did I use the laws and regulations to bring about change? I used the correct and current data when I was gathering information for the grant. I provided professional development for my teachers on implementing a research-based reading program, and then I collaborated with community members on the site council. How have I provided ongoing dialogue? I communicated the plan to the parents, I've communicated the plan to the stakeholders, and then I've invited the community to be a part of the site council and come into classrooms and help. Thank you for listening.